So this is for Dell Repository Manager, and I'm going to start with the installation of it. So I went ahead and downloaded this. I just searched online for Dell Repository Manager. Let's see if it's still here. What I ended up getting to this page here, Dell Repository Manager, and the download file. So I've downloaded this executable, and we will just start by installing that. Now through the course of this, I'll speed it up so the edit doesn't take as long, or the video doesn't take as long. So I installed it, and as you can see, I have the business client version and then the data center. So this is where all the data center, like servers and that sort of thing, will be. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. And I'll accept that. Okay. I will go ahead and do the automatic thing, just makes it easier. Source of plugin update ftp.dell.com. So I will start by syncing my database with the Dell Online catalog. You can see up here new Dell Online. That just means that it wasn't synced, but once that's over, once we pull in this catalog, then it'll be synced with the FTP stuff. And basically what it does, when you build a new repository, it can then take the information and look on the FTP site to pull down the components that you're wanting. So this is like every bundle. So if we go to my repository, so for this example, I have a T620 that I can use that I can update. So what I'm going to do is, for my repositories, I'm going to go ahead and do a new repository. I'll name it the T620 because that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'll use the Dell Online catalog. Now here's where I can select it. You can pull down everything if you want, but for me, what I'm going to do is just the actually, just let me uncheck everything, and then we'll go with the rack servers. That's incorrect. I'm wanting the tower server actually. Next, I'm going to do the Linux. You can also check OS independent if you'd like. I'll select my model. So I have a T620. Next. This is optional files. You can look at it and see what it is that they're Open Managed Server Administrator. So it's optional, so I'm just not going to do it. And we'll go next and finish. So what this is going to do is create a repository with all the newest updates for my T620. And is that it? Bundles? Okay. So what we'll do is, now we have this entire bundle here. What I'm going to do is export that. I'm going to make a bootable Linux file. There's a few different ways you can do it. If you create the server update utility, then you can point your server to that if you use a lifecycle controller. For now, I'll just do the create a bootable ISO. Next. asking me where I want to save it, so I'll just save it to my desktop. That's fine. We'll make a new folder called the T620. And OK. Would I like to add any of my own scripts? I've selected no and next. Oh, and note this, for scripts to update regardless of version or date. So if you decide you wanted to back a version, a version back, you could do that with that. And finish. This will probably take a while for the download to happen. Yeah, so here we go. It's started. So we go over to our jobs queue. Oh, here it is down here. You can see what's going on. These are just step through one at a time until they're all done. I'm going to pause the recording until this is completed. So now that that's complete, you can see here the completed bootable ISO has been exported. So we'll go back over to my desktop and find the T620. There's the ISO. Now if I didn't have access to an iDrac, I would burn this and boot my server to it. But since I do have access to an iDrac, we're going to use that to upgrade or update the server. So it takes just a second, and if you're not familiar with the iDrac, you can kind of get a good look at it here. It's the same as walking up to the server and running it that way, but we can just mount the ISO as a CD for it, or a DVD. Okay, so you can see here, this is the server that we're going to be updating, and let's go ahead and open it up all the way. So what we're going to do is go next boot, virtual CD. Oh, here we go. That's what I was looking for. Map a CD or DVD. So what I'm going to do, that's what I was looking for. We're going to go to mount it to my ISO that I just made. Okay. Map device. Now you can see it's mapped. For next boot, we're going to do our virtual CD or ISO. And now I'm just going to go ahead and reset the system. Alright, so you can see it's booted into our disk. We'll just go ahead and do the number 1 here. And then what it'll do is it'll go through our our server and get it ready for an update. And you'll see some of these things. This update package is not compatible. What it does is you can see at the, let me get the mouse over it, 112 things total that it could update. So it goes through and checks, and if it is compatible with your system, it runs it, and if not, then it just tells you so. So I kicked us off a minute, but from the iDrac came back up. So as you can see, it's finished now, and it's asking to reboot to continue. Um, so I'll go ahead and do that now. Press enter. And we should boot our normal process now. And it's continuing on with the BIOS update now. So I went back over here to our the logs. One I selected was life cycle log. Then if you go through here, let me see if there's a different type. Updates. You can see what we were able to update here. Firmware updated. You can see it all here. All right. Well, thanks for watching.